Hey everybody, Dr. Diane Mueller, and in this particular video, we're going to talk a little bit about how mold and mold toxins, called mycotoxins, as well as toxic metals, how they kind of fit together in disease as well as treatment. So the problem is oftentimes that when we have something like metals and metal accumulation, one of the things that we see with metal accumulation is it can impact the immune system and it can disrupt the tissues. It can basically make the environment of the individual unhealthy. The more unhealthy we are, and the less the immune system is able to fully, be activated and turn on, the more we can get buildup of things like mold and the toxins from mold called mycotoxins in the body. So one of the ways these two things are related is due to the impacts of the negative effects that something like metals will have by destroying the gut, where is actually where a lot of our immune system lives. So metals have been shown to cause a lot of inflammation in the gut, to cause a leaky gut, to lead to overgrowth of fungus like candida. And when we have all of these types of situations happening, which can occur from metals, our immune system, which in our gut is about 80% of the immune system in our body is in our gut. So when our immune system gets dysregulated and our gut's not healthy and we have an overgrowth of a fungus due to metals, that can really predispose us to having mold toxins come in our body, to breathe them in, and then not having the immune function, not having the vitality to actually detox and remove those toxins. This is one of the reasons in my clinical practice, when I test people, I have never, ever seen one single situation where somebody has only one toxin in their body or only one thing going on with them. Not saying it's not possible. Of course it's possible, but it's definitely uncommon, because when we start getting parts of our body out of balance, other things start accumulating, and this is where we can get into a lot of problems with our health, and why when people typically have chronic disease and chronic conditions that have gone on for a while, it's not one root cause, it's several root causes, because the body has accumulated this dysfunction. The other thing to understand is when we start treatment and we start to detox, we can't completely isolate and say, oh, we're only going to detox metals, we're only going to detox aluminum or mercury, or we're only going to detox a particular mold toxin like ochratoxin A or trichothecenes, right? So basically, once we start getting the body mobilizing from a detox perspective, we do wind up detoxing a lot of things at the same time. There are certain ways we can tailor treatment a little bit more specifically for the individual toxin, but as a general rule, when we start detox, we're really detoxifying everything. So the more toxins you have in you, because of all the different exposures, because of infections, which also release toxins, the more toxins you have in you, the more difficult or the longer it's going to take to get them out, which is a pretty logical thing. Now, want to make sure that you understand that when we are doing this, it's important to go slow, and it's important for most people. It works really well to start with lymphatic massage at the beginning part of toxin release, especially if you're sensitive. If you find that you're highly reactive to things, that you've tried detox before and you feel real bad, that's a sign that your body is releasing more toxins when you're trying to detox than your body can actually keep up with. So one of the things that can help when you're starting is to get lymphatic massage done, or to do lymphatic massage yourself. There's a lot of videos online you can find about how to do that. And the idea with lymphatic massage is the lymph is part of our body's system that basically cleans out tissues, cleans out the trash, and helps with detox. So the lymph essentially is all throughout our body. Just like we have blood vessels in our body, we have lymphatic vessels in our body. And the blood vessels run throughout our body, the lymphatic vessels run throughout the body, and lymphatic vessels go through the tissues and they clean up the trash. The lymph actually contains white blood cells as well, so it helps to tag toxins for removal or to find chronic hidden infections and start killing them. So it's really important. The more we can have our lymph moving well, the more our lymphatic system is clean and clear, the better detoxification tends to go for people. So in order to clean, in order to move the lymph, what is super important is that you move your body. So our blood vessels, they actually have muscle in them. And that's because we want to be pumping the blood when we're sleeping and not moving. The lymph, however, does not have blood vessels. So the lymph, actually, the vessels are located in the middle of our skeletal muscles. So they flow, the lymphatic vessels are in the middle of things like biceps, triceps, quadriceps, right? Those are examples of skeletal muscles. So then when we contract, like if I contract my bicep, then what's happening is the lymph in my arm starts to move. One of the problems when we have oftentimes mold issues or toxic metal issues is that we don't feel very well. And for many people, this means they're not moving a lot. That's going to make detoxification harder because all of this lymph is built up and it's not moving. And so it's like the body has collected all this toxic trash, but it's just sitting there in the vessels instead of actually moving out. So oftentimes when we're reacting to things from a detoxification perspective, when we're treating mold and we're treating metals, it's really helpful to start with either a professional lymphatic massage or a home lymph massage, self lymph massage. Start moving your body, even if it's a simple 5-minute walk around the block, to get the lymph circulating. And when we do that, then we can start working in phases. One of the next phases I like to go to is to actually get the toxins out by using and utilizing things like the MRP2 and the BSEP proteins. I've talked about this in another video, but these particular proteins are kind of like the floodgates so that when the liver breaks things down, the liver can actually get the broken down toxins out of the liver. So if we have a break in these transport proteins that mobilize toxins out of the liver, what winds up happening is we break down toxins in the liver and then they go backwards into our bloodstream instead of out in our stool. So we want to make sure that once our lymph is going, one of the next steps oftentimes we do is just open the floodgates, not start detox, just make sure the body is open and ready to begin it so that once we start detox, things get out. And so we do that with things like TUDCA and myrrh and phosphatidylcholine all work very, very well for that. So that's it for this particular video. Subscribe to this channel if you like this information, and I'll see you in the next one.